It's not acceptable for American citizens to be killed by federal agents for exercising their God-given and constitutional rights to protest their government. At best, these federal immigration operations are a complete failure of coordination of acceptable public safety and law enforcement practices, training, and leadership. At worst, it's a deliberate federal intimidation and incitement of American citizens that's resulting in the murder of Americans.
The storm that has been brewing in Minnesota for weeks has just hit. Federal agents have crossed a line and it's causing irreversible damage. The people of Minneapolis are paying the price and the consequences are being felt nationwide. A deadly operation has been carried out on American soil and those responsible must be held accountable. This isn't a small crisis. It's a full-blown attack on our democratic values and the American people have had enough. The state of Minnesota, its citizens, and even Republicans are standing up against the Trump administration's Operation Metro Surge. Federal agents are terrorizing their own people under the guise of law enforcement, and the results are catastrophic. From the tragic loss of innocent lives to the political fallout that could reshape the landscape, the situation is dire. The nation is watching, and it's clear this isn't just a regional issue. This is an existential crisis for the soul of the nation. The immediate shockwave has been felt on multiple fronts. Republicans, Democrats, corporate America, and average citizens are all rallying against what is nothing short of government overreach. In Minneapolis, the fallout from ICE's brutal tactics is undeniable, and the political implications are impossible to ignore. Let's break down the gravity of the situation. This is not just a policy debate. This is about lives being destroyed. The Trump administration's actions in Minneapolis have sparked outrage across party lines, exposing a failure in both strategy and humanity. Republicans in Minnesota are calling for an immediate halt to Operation Metro Surge. They've seen enough, and they're demanding a change. And yet, despite mounting pressure from all sides, the federal government continues to ignore the cries for justice. Chris Mattel, a leading Republican candidate for governor in Minnesota, made a dramatic exit from the race, saying he could not continue to support a party that would willingly put the lives of its citizens at risk. His words echo the growing disillusionment within the Republican Party, where even the most staunch conservatives are recoiling from the implications of the Trump administration's stance on immigration enforcement. Mattel's resignation speaks volumes. A Republican, a leader in the state, has abandoned his party because he could no longer stomach the actions of ICE. This is a repudiation of the very policies that have defined the Trump administration's approach to governance. This isn't just political posturing, it's a moment of reckoning. We've seen this before. We've seen the government ignore the rule of law, abandon its citizens, and justify brutality in the name of enforcement. But what's different this time is the response. The political shift is happening right before our eyes. Politicians once loyal to the administration are now forced to reconsider their positions. This is the real-world consequence of overreach. A breakdown in the trust between the government and the people. In response to the increasing violence and intimidation tactics used by federal agents, a coalition of Minnesota business leaders, including top executives from Target, General Mills, and 3M, have come together to demand a de-escalation of federal operations. Their call for action is unprecedented, and it signals that the private sector, too, is losing patience with this reckless administration. Let's take a closer look at the legal implications here. The actions of ICE and DHS under the guise of Operation Metro Surge are a direct violation of constitutional rights. When federal agents target U.S. citizens for simply exercising their rights to protest, they are undermining the very foundation of democracy. The right to assemble, the right to speak freely, and the right to challenge authority are all enshrined in the Constitution. Yet this administration is actively working to strip these rights away. Federal agents working with ICE have openly disregarded the legal protections that are supposed to shield citizens from unlawful searches and seizures. The way in which ICE is operating in Minneapolis, conducting raids, detaining citizens without proper cause, and causing harm to innocent people, is not only morally reprehensible, it's illegal. The actions of ICE agents are a clear breach of the rule of law. These are not isolated incidents, nor are they misunderstandings. The Trump administration has intentionally and knowingly deployed agents to suppress the democratic rights of American citizens. This goes beyond policy failure. It's a systematic disregard for legal norms and basic human decency. The situation is escalating, and it's not going to stop until those responsible are held accountable. The courts, state legislatures, and the American people are all pushing back. Republican governors who once supported the Trump administration's actions are now publicly condemning the operations in Minnesota. The political pressure is mounting, and the administration is beginning to feel the heat. What's more, even Democratic senators, who in the past have been hesitant to challenge the Trump administration on immigration enforcement, are now making a stand. They've committed to blocking funding for ICE and the Department of Homeland Security. This is a significant shift in the political landscape. For years, many Democrats in Congress were complicit in funding ICE, even when they knew its tactics were questionable. But now they've reached a breaking point. The people are demanding accountability, and the lawmakers are listening. ICE is losing its grip. It's not just the Democrats in Congress that are turning on the agency. Public opinion is shifting too. The trust in the institution has eroded to the point that even business leaders and moderate Republicans are openly rejecting ICE's tactics. The agency's credibility is at rock bottom, and the only option for the Trump administration is to recalibrate its approach or face further political collapse. The image the Trump administration has tried to sell, the strong, tough on immigration leader protecting the country from criminals, is collapsing in real time. The reality is starkly different. ICE agents are terrorizing U.S. citizens, targeting them not for their actions, but for their constitutional rights. This is not law enforcement. It's state-sponsored intimidation. The media's coverage has painted a clear picture. What was once presented as a necessary and effective operation is now revealed to be an unmitigated disaster. The people of Minneapolis, who have faced federal agents' assault on their streets, are now speaking out. And the political fallout is devastating. This collapse of the image the administration tried to craft has opened the door to a broader conversation about the role of government power, the rights of citizens, and the limits of federal authority. The more the public learns about the details of Operation Metro Surge, the more they reject it. This isn't just about immigration anymore. It's about a government abusing its power to silence dissent. Now, let's examine the options available to the Trump administration. Each one is worse than the last. Option one, escalate further. This would mean doubling down on ICE's tactics and continuing to target American citizens for their peaceful protests. But this would only escalate the political backlash and push even more Republicans away from the administration. It would also galvanize a larger public outcry as more Americans are waking up to the abuse of power that is taking place in their own cities. Option two, de-escalate. While this may seem like a reasonable course of action, it's too late for that. The damage has already been done. The public trust in ICE and the Trump administration's handling of this situation is irreparably damaged. De-escalating now would only expose how ineffective the administration has been in dealing with the crisis, and it wouldn't reverse the harm already caused. Option three, ignore the protests and push forward with Operation Metro Surge. This is perhaps the most dangerous option, as it would solidify the narrative that the Trump administration is willing to destroy the rights of its citizens for the sake of political expediency. This would alienate not just liberals and Democrats, but even moderate Republicans and business leaders who have now spoken out against the administration's tactics. No matter which option the administration chooses, it faces a losing battle. In the end, it all comes back to the rule of law. The Trump administration's actions in Minneapolis have violated the very foundation of this country, the Constitution. This is not just a political battle, it's a moral and legal one. The American people deserve a government that protects their rights, not one that seeks to strip them away. Operation Metro Surge is not just a failure of policy, it's a betrayal of the core values this country was built upon. The people have spoken, and they are demanding a return to a government that serves the people, not the other way around. The fallout is far-reaching. The credibility of ICE, DHS, and the Trump administration is in tatters. From corporate leaders to political figures across party lines, there is a growing consensus that the actions of federal agents in Minneapolis are unacceptable. The political system is finally responding, slowly but decisively. As we move forward, the conversation will shift from if the Trump administration should recalibrate to how they will justify their actions. The political pressure is building and the administration is on the defensive. The conclusion is inevitable. This is a turning point in American politics. The people of Minneapolis have stood up and fought back, and their voices have forced a political shift. The Trump administration has lost the moral high ground, and the consequences will be felt far beyond Minneapolis. The people have spoken. This crisis will not be ignored, and the fallout will continue to shape the future of this country. The Trump administration has crossed a line, and the political and legal ramifications will be felt for years to come. This is just the beginning.